It's Natria, Bobby Robinson.
And Cedric Robinson.
And Cedric, yes. We're Aging Grateful, and today we thought we would do a quick video because we've been getting a lot of questions, comments, concerns about being in Mexico. So this video is about, is Mexico safe? Because that's the key.
If I get one more text message from one of my friends about am I gonna get kidnapped or whatever, I'm like, look, how many people got shot when you at today?
Oh, we're not even gonna go down that. We're not gonna go down that road. That is not what this video is about. Maybe he'll do a separate video about that. But in reality, all seriousness, we definitely want to talk about is Mexico safe? Now, we're not here to debate politics or anything like that. We are just here to provide our perspective on what we know. Okay, so that's really what it's about. And so let's shed a little bit of light, if you don't mind, on where we currently are. Okay, so
we are in Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta, that is where we are. So we are kind of in the middle.
Yeah, we're on the West Coast,
right.
So we're not anywhere near any border towns or anything like that.
Right. So we are definitely not in any border towns or near any border towns. However, this is a good vacation destination for a lot of people. Very touristy area. So there's that. So to lend itself. So just to give a little bit of perspective about being safe, right? People come here to enjoy the weather. They come here to enjoy the beach, the water, the food, the culture overall. And so if all of these different people are coming from different places to enjoy this, there has to be some level of safety going on. So I want to say that this is a vacation area.
Right.
So which leads to is Mexico safe, right? So that's one. Believe me, because if there was something popping off, a lot of people wouldn't be here on vacation doing these things, and a lot of other countries wouldn't allow people. There would be some type of which I did hear there was something going on in the United States about a little blurb of safety for
like a safety issue warning
for PP. Yeah. But I think it was due to the high rate of people that were going to be traveling to Puerto Vallarta for spring break. So, but yeah, so there's that. But again, these people traveling, it's got to be some form of safety. Another thing is we definitely want to say our condolences to those who lost their lives here that were coming from the United States to Mexico. I know that they were in a border city. That's all I know. Any information?
That's all I know. I've heard a million different stories.
I mean, we have heard so many different accounts and stories of what happened, where, when, and how. And to be quite honest with you, we don't know. We honestly do not know what the situation was behind it to necessarily say that there was something that anybody did wrong. We don't have we don't have enough content to form any speculation or opinions or anything of that nature, which leads us to believe that Mexico is unsafe for anybody that's traveling to it, right? So there's that. Now, also, we, given that information, we want to talk about specifically what it's like for us living here in Mexico. Okay. The safety aspect of it, we feel safe. I will tell you, it feels like home to me. What about you?
Yeah, it feels, I tell people all the time, and I've heard it on YouTube channels, as a black man, I don't feel like a black man. I feel like a person. And for those of you that can't relate, you can't relate. For those of you who can, know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have the anxiety. When I'm walking around, I see police. I don't fear the police. They're here to help you, whatever I need help with. Ask police.
Or protect you.
Yeah.
Now, that's not saying that every police officer is there to do that. But in essence, we don't fear that, something's going to pop off.
Right. I feel like in a weird way, it's freeing. It's like a weight lifted off my shoulder. Just one less thing I have to worry about. And I felt that since the first time I got to Mexico. That's what kind of drew me back. I was like, something is different about this place. I can't put my finger on it. And then as we stay here longer, I start to realize, okay, I just feel like a normal person. This is what it feels like to be a normal person. Huh?
Well, also, even to that, I will give credit to some amazing people that we've met and interacted with and engaged with that are locals here. I was talking to Cedric today, because this happened today. Today, I was walking, and here in Mexico, a lot of areas, if you have to use the ladies' room or the men's room, which they call baños, the bathroom, baños, you may have to pay 5 pesos or 2 pesos or whatever the charge is. And so they were directing me to a public bathroom, and it was down this long, narrow corridor, and so someone was just pointing to show me, and I was like, okay. I'm like, this is a long hallway. And I walked down the hallway, and the gentleman who pointed the bathroom out to me was just standing at the beginning of the hallway, the entryway, as I was walking, and I tried to push the door, and it was locked. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's locked. And then he stopped, he came down the hallway, and he showed the little box. There's a little box on the wall, and you put the money in it, your coin in it, right? And you push the buttons to open the door to the bathroom, either the ladies' room or men's room. So, and he was helping me, he pushed it. I didn't have any change on me, guys, none. I'm searching. I was like, oh, no pesos. I don't have any pesos. And so he dug in his pocket, and he put the coin in so that I could use the ladies' room, right? I was really, really grateful, because I didn't have the pesos, but I was really grateful. But it was a testament to the people that are here, the friendliness, the making sure that you're okay. And I love that. They're not just about themselves. It's about, being cordial and nice to everyone. I love that.
Let me kind of paint this picture for y'all, because you keep saying it was a hallway. This was an alley behind us, OXXO. So OXXO is like a Circle K or 7-Eleven. This is an alley outside behind a store.
Yes.
And because later on, I had to go to the bathroom, so I asked her where it was, and she told me. And so I walked around. It was a gas station, and then the store was there. So I walked, and I looked, and I was like, I know she's not talking about
this alleyway.
This alley. Then I saw the sign that said Baños. So I was like, okay. So I walked down there, and it was a long alley, and it was narrow, it was dark. And if somebody wanted to do something to you, that would be the place to do it. So, yeah, I just wanted to paint that picture. Because she's like, oh, it's like a hallway in a storefront. No.
Well, but I'm saying all this to say,
yes.
It's very refreshing to be able to not have to think if this is something about to pop off.
Right,
if
absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, another thing with our friends visiting.
We had some friends of ours. We were out eating the other night, and he left his phone in the Uber. And you can imagine how freaked out that is, right? You have your phone in the Uber drives away, and you don't even realize it until, a little bit later. So, and then trying to contact Uber, which you can't because you're on the phone. So he had his wife's phone, and he was trying to, log into the Uber app, but it was sending a code to his phone. He calling his phone, nobody's answering the phone, so he's freaking out. So then I think the Uber driver finally answered his phone, and he was talking Spanish, so he couldn't understand him. The guy didn't really speak English. So he ran downstairs to the security guard at the complex that they're staying at, the condo. There was nobody there. So he saw a girl walking by, just a stranger walking by, and he asked her, did she speak English? She said a little bit. So he handed her his wife's phone, and the Uber driver was telling the girl that he could remember the area, but he didn't remember exactly how it was. So she gave him directions to get there. And long story short, he got there, gave him the phone.
Yes.
My friend was so grateful. He ran upstairs and gave him a bunch of money, gave the girls a bunch of money because, you know, and that was something that they didn't have to do, because you hear all the time about people, oh, they steal your phone, don't leave it laying around and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that you should,
Right.
but this was just another act of
Kindness,
how
yeah.
we've seen the locals here act. I mean, it's just time after, I mean, we go on with stories, but it's the
Absolutely.
same behavior.
Absolutely.
Same behavior.
So for us, we definitely feel safe here. We feel like, you know, people are welcoming and kind, and just overall general wonderful people. Again, you're gonna have people, right? In every area, you're gonna have people who may not be nice or kind or whatever the case may be. I mean, we haven't run into them yet. I'm sure that there are some that exists.
Yeah.
But again, that's wherever you go.
Yeah, and especially being a tourist place, there are scams. So there's plenty of scams out here. Now, scamming, and to me, scamming is not in the same category as kind of unsafe. You know,
Right.
people getting mugged and all that stuff. And so, yeah, there's definitely that.
But then you have scamming in the United
Absolutely,
States,
100%.
100%, or Canada, or wherever you're from, you're going to have it.
100%.
What's surprising that we have seen since we have been here is, as much as, you know, we have people who are concerned about safety in Mexico, there are, on the other foot, people from other countries, including Mexico as well, who have their perceptions about the United States. We have seen people who have, you know, had their citizenship as U.S., you know, in the United States, who came from the country but earned their citizenship, who have gone back to where they originally was from, and sharing with their family members, you know, their children and stuff like that, not to, you know, to be careful in the United States. So, you know, just in the same token, we're
Right.
getting that information. So are, on the other side, people are getting information about being careful about being in the United States. So, United States, please,
Yeah,
don't
you
think
gotta-
that.
Everybody's really trying to come there like that.
And it's so surprising to me, like, you know, also the stereotypes, you know, hearing people talk about, they look at how people who are from Mexico and stuff like that in movies, American movies and stuff like that, how they are portrayed, and to see the shock and the questioning behind why, because that's not really
Oh, yeah.
that's not really how they are, right? And so we've even had those conversations as well, that the perceptions are really a little bit off.
Yeah, we talked to a young man, and he was saying he had saw some movie recently, and he was like, why were they showing that in Mexico? That's not how Mexico is. And he was like, he's trying to figure out why all the movies portraying Mexico like this, and that was when his dad told him he's like, you do not want to go to the U.S. So he was asking us a bunch of questions about the U.S. Is it really like this? Is it really like that?
Yeah.
And so it was kind of very informative, and just, it was, like you said, it caught me off guard, because we don't typically think as the stereotypes from the U.S. side, because, you know, us being from the U.S., because, you know, let the U.S. tell it, everybody's trying to get to the U.S. So
Right.
to hear that from the other side is like, you know, we don't want to be in the U.S.
We don't wanna be in the US. So it's really interesting. And so, you know, as much as people, you know, friends, family, you know, just people in general ask, are you safe here in Mexico? Is it safe in Mexico?
Right.
One of the things that, you know, we've never been asked or encountered, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but we've never been asked, do we feel safe in the United States? Nobody in another area is saying, hey, do you feel safe here? Which is so interesting, because
You mean in the United States, right?
yes,
So yeah,
in the United States, like,
I've never
me-
had. Yeah, so all the stuff goes on. You know, we go to church, we go to all these different places, and not You know, and nothing knocking against churches, because you have a lot of pastors, they pray for everybody, or they pray for peace and all that stuff, but nobody has ever asked me, do I feel safe?
Yeah, do I feel safe living in the United States? Like,
Yep.
I don't know. So that's interesting. But here, you know, we do get asked that. So that was...
Yeah, and that's what made us bring it up, because we just got asked the other day by a gentleman. We're just kind of talking, and he said, "Can I ask you a question?" And he's like, "I don't mean to offend you or anything like that." He said, "But do you feel safe here?" And I knew what he was talking about. He's talking about, do we feel safe as, you know, Americans, and do we feel safe as people of color?
Yes.
And we told him yes.
Absolutely.
And then I was like, wait a minute, nobody's ever asked us that before in the United States.
No.
I guess they just assume that it's...
I mean, and clearly, you know, there are things that are going on in the United States. I mean, let's be honest. There are some things going on in the United States or in other countries, of course. But we can't like turn a blind eye and say that there's nothing going on in the United States that would incite or cause people to be fearful. But yet nobody's asking asking that question of us. Do we feel safe? Are we scared? Is the United States of America safe? And you know what? At the end of the day, it just depends, right?
Yeah.
It depends because, again, as we mentioned earlier, there's, you know, different situations occurring everywhere. It's not just in Mexico. It's not just in the United States. I mean, it's just, you know, you have your people, right?
Yeah.
And just to be cautious and enjoy, you know, what you have, right? And enjoy the people that you surround yourself with. So we wanted to go ahead. But just to know that, you know, we're not in a separate boat than anybody else, right? And that if we just take a moment to really understand that wherever you are, you're going to have good, you're going to have bad, you're going to have, you know, some ugly, some wonderful. You're going to get a mixed bag of that wherever you go. So let's just state that, okay? You're not going to run and escape all of that. You just have to make do with where you feel comfortable and what you love or where you love to be. So just thought we'd share that information.
Yeah, and we got upcoming videos. We'll even show you walking around at night through the neighborhood and some parks and things like that. So
yeah, so we'll go ahead and show that in another video. But until you see that video, why don't you take some time to like, subscribe, comment, share.
Let us know what you want to see.
Let us know what you want to see. We're enjoying this journey that we're on. Yeah. And I know you saw our daughter, I think, maneuvering up there just a little bit ago. But yes, we are enjoying our journey. Look forward to many more videos from us. And let us know what you think. Do you live in this world or this bubble where you think United States is just the end all be all, or wherever you're from, do you think that's the end all be all? And has there been a concern with your thoughts about Mexico or any place abroad? We'd love to hear that information as well, right? Yep. All right, so I think we're gonna go ahead and start getting some tacos or something, but until next time, much love and always be grateful for aging. Let's enjoy this life, guys. Deuces.
See you later.